in our game, but basically both these sprites, they all have different vertices. If you look at the stats panel, like draw code. So normally if you have 3D meshes, you basically have a tab and name like a red material, blue material, green material, yellow material. And the way that Unity renderer works is each material being rendered basically counts as a draw code. It's drawing a new type of mesh, a new type of data. So basically what this is doing is it's using one sort of shared material across all the sprites, but just colouring them independently. So yes, super sexy. So yeah, look at this. So you have another problem, which is in sorting layers. Where's London? Okay. So you have here destroyed London. This is London after a Friday night. Basically, people rampage in London. They rampage and smash up the city where they lose at football and they win at football. So naturally, every single day is a nightmare to live in. Yeah, it's not very nice. So we have here London. We have the sky layer. Basically, we've got lots of different layers. And yesterday, we just made a simple game with a spaceship and a background layer. That's just 2 different layers. But you think most 2D games, like, you think Candy Crush, right? How much crap do they have on the screen? Candy Crush. You all know Candy Crush, right? Yeah. People are like, yeah, unfortunately. So Candy Crush is a lot of layers. It's got a lot of things stacked up on top of it. They have their background layer. They've then got, for example, this layer. They've got the score. They've got this. They've got this. They've got lots of cute particles. They've got lots of sparkly stuff. They've got lots of in-app purchases that pop up everywhere. So basically, they've got lots of different content that's being stacked up for the user to see. So obviously, what you're going to have a problem with is basically choosing which is rendered in front of another object. So what we might have here is I have a background of like some sky. So that's in the background, and I've got London, hung over London, basically rendered there. So basically you're going to have the trouble with which one's being rendered in front of the other one. I don't want London to be rendered in the background, I want it to be rendered in the foreground. So this problem comes up in 2D games. However, what our 2D developers did is in the sprite renderer, so the renderer that draws the sprites, you have here the vertex color, you've got type of material, you also have a sorting layer. In this sorting layer, okay, our last game was talking in Sweden, so we had UI, meatballs, IKEA, shiny particles and stuff like that, swoop. Basically with the sorting layer, you can set up custom sorting layers to group items in. So you think of a game like Mario, for example. You'd have like the sky and clouds and like mountains in the background, all on a sorting layer, all being rendered before like the foreground data, all being rendered in front of the UI layer, for example. This is really easy to set up. And every single type of sprite has this option. So you notice here, basically Big Ben is on a midground layer, whereas the background sky is on a background layer. So we're going to set up a sorting layer. Right, let's get rid of all this stuff, some meatballs, IKEA and all that. Okay? So by default, give you a default layer, and what we want to do is we want to add more layers. So you can customize these, you're not just restricted to set layers. So, okay, so what's Bulgaria pigs for? Pardon?
Shopska salad.
Shopska salad?
Salad.
Salad.
Shopska salad, yeah.
Okay. Oh, what's the drink? The drink that you drink?
Rakia.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like that?
R-I-A-K.
Okay, R-A-K, right? It's I-A, sorry.
I-A-K.
Rakia, okay. Like Nokia, but not bought by Microsoft. Rakia, what else is there? Muscles? What else? I'm sure there's some other bits and pieces. Button. So the way that these sorting layers work, for example, okay, let's have Joanna. Joanna Cadite. Cool. So basically the way these sorting layers work is you can customize them and set up which types of layers you want. And it works from a back to front system. So what will happen is in my game, this is a very bizarre game by the way, you have the default layer, then the background, then the midground, then the foreground, then salad, then rakia, then muscles, then Varna, then Joanna. Basically all rendered in that order. Now obviously you'd use more sort of general game terms. I haven't made a game with Joanna in the game yet, so yeah, or Rakia or muscles. So for example, you could have like a UI layer, for example. You could have also a, I don't know, shiny particles there. Basically, you can have all these sorting layers and basically set up what's going to be rendered in front of what. So now that I've set up the sorting layers, what I can do, so I can go to my background, Big Ben. I can get it, and I can set my background Big Ben to be Joanna. Oh look, cool. Okay, so basically it's being automatically rendered in front of Big Ben. And that's simply because Big Ben's on the midground layer, and then this is being rendered after it, because it's rendering all the other layers instead. That makes absolutely no sense. Sorry, Joanna. Okay. So basically you have 3 different sorting layers. Now, to bring in the true British, basically, style, I've made it rain Unity logos in London.
The
and
Lithuanian flag for me.
the Lithuanian flag.
Yes, colors. Thank you.
Is it?
I feel much popular today.
That wasn't intentional, but I'll take it.
Ah.
Cool. So basically we have here, like every time you space brush, it's just going to spawn a new logo. So some people are worried that when we implement 2D tools, you're going to have to learn a whole new API basically for all doing 2D stuff. Wrong. This is all using existing code that you can use with 3D stuff. As opposed to spawning something in a 3D space, it's in the 2D space instead. When I recolor with Sprite, I'm just referencing the sprite render and changing the color. This is all code that I could use for having a 3D object and making that there. So the way that the API is made is very loose, so I've got this. So let's make them bounce. So I did talk about what like bounce is. So London hasn't really been destroyed. Like I know this is what London looks like all the time. However, it's actually been invaded by a UFO, which is something. This is the UFO. So the UFO. So one thing I find is I go into some game studios. Okay, I'll be honest. Rovio did this. Okay, so if Rovio did this, then you guys are like points out something that they missed. So what they did is they said, oh, there's a bug in like the 2D tools. So what we do is we take our platform, we take the sprite, right? We drag it into our scene. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I can see it here, but where is it? Can anyone for like 10 points guess? Like what? Yes. Why is that though?
Goes with the lid.
Yes. So when you drag a sprite into Unity, basically it will default go to default, right? That makes sense, right? So right here. So basically it'll go automatically default layer. If you think about it, I've set it to go default, background, midground, foreground. So all my UFOs, so for some UFOs, okay, Joanna is now on the UFO layer, okay. I basically have all my UFOs, they were just hiding in the default. So Rovio weren't very happy about this. They said, okay, so why is the default layer not at the bottom? Well, you can actually do that. So what you can actually do is you can take these layers. So say like I've got a lot of content on the midground layer, I can actually switch them to a different layer. Or I could say Rakia is rendered behind the salad, muscles are rendered in front of Joanna, so Joanna's got muscles, and then all muscles, yeah. Varna is now rendered in front of the UI layer. But basically you can pop them in and out. So what you'll notice here is UFOs are now Joanna. And then what I can do is then I can say, okay, Joanna layer, go behind everything and basically pop them in and out. So you can do that. Or you can take the default layer itself and just put it at the front. So now when I drag in like platform UFO, Unity logo, Iman, whatever, as I drag in more content, basically it's all been on the default layer so it's all visible. It's something minor, but it's something that you don't want to add 400 UFOs accidentally. Cool. Okay, so I have my UFO. I want my items to bounce off my UFO. Basically my Unity logos all already have like colliders on them. Okay, so my Unity logos already have the polygon collider on them to basically wrap around them and basically like allow them to collide with their objects. So my platform is UFO. Let's put keyframe around. So what collider pop grids? So let's see who's paying attention. What collider would be useful to have my logo bounce off of the UFO? Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, polygon collider. Yep, if I just add a polygon collider, Okay, cool. It's made a pretty good wrap. So now what will happen is my logos will now roll on it. So another thing is happening now. As my logos touch the UFO, they're then changing colour to black. So even though I did say pretty much all the existing API in Unity that you can use, like the 3D, use for 2D stuff, collisions are a bit different. That's simply because the 2D system is a completely different collision system to the 3D system, right? So yeah, it's not necessarily going to work in the same way. So this was a really tricky line of code that I had to remember. So basically to do a collision in Unity, you write on collision enter. Right, look how complex this line of code is. Ready? So see, like you want your character animate and switch
Yes, yes.
sprites. Okay, cool, I'll do that.
That's exactly how sprite sheet relations work.
Okay, so let's say he changes running around. However, the bazooka is basically told to look at the teddy bear, and then the hands are attached to the bazooka. So I don't have time to go into this sort of stuff, but like we do have all the tutorials online to show you how to do this.